What's going on, everybody? We are back again. The Big Boy Projects is here for another Walking Dead hangout. And this is season 5, episode 6, Consumed. And this episode was pretty much Daryl and Carol the whole episode, except for Noah, who came later. But yeah, this was a unique pairing to me.
Carol and Daryl?
Yeah.
Why is that a unique pairing?
Well, I can't say unique because they've been paired before, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that we finally see what Carol has been up to for the last how long she been kicked out of the prison?
See, I don't. I like that they showed a flashback of all the stuff she was doing, but I didn't get a real sense of time that
Yeah,
passed. I guess because I didn't have it in contrast to what was going on with the rest of the show, with the rest of the people. Like you could tell when the folk was in the prison, there was time was passing, but with
right,
Carol, they just showed snippets,
right,
and it seemed to me like it all happened overnight. Like she got kicked out the group, she drove, she cried,
right,
then she found some law firm to go hang out in right down the street from the prison,
right,
and she cleared it out or whatever. She took a nap, she went to sleep. Then the next day she wakes up and the prison's on fire, and she goes back. It seems like it happened over the course of a one night
right,
when the way they did it. So, but obviously she was gone. For those of us who've been watching the show, obviously she was gone for a while because
right.
it was actually all that happened over the span of what a few days, I would think, between she getting banished from the prison to the governor's attack.
Right.
Had to happen at over a few days,
Right. Plus,
if not a few weeks.
right. Plus them heading to Terminus and all that. So I'd say like a month's time, maybe.
Yeah, but you got to remember, she went back to the prison when it was when it was under attack. When the
Right.
government
Right.
attacked, she was going back,
Right.
and she she met up with Tyrese and the girls and the baby
Right.
after that.
Well, I
So
guess I'm talking about like
that's the thing.
officially with the group, with everybody.
No, it wasn't. Well, the travel to Terminus, I would say, was only a few days too.
Right.
That didn't seem like it took a long, long time. I would say it was a few days too.
Right. But the whole thing was they were going after a car that Daryl, like they had like a symbol that had like the white cross symbols on the back of the car. That's why
Right.
Daryl kind of
Yeah, it was white. It
went
was
going
white
after him.
crosses.
Right. Which he's seen before, and that's the one that took Beth. So him and Carol went after the car.
Hmm.
Ended up in a city full of zombies.
Yeah, downtown Atlanta.
Right.
It's not any different than when I go to work every single day. So
Try
those
to.
little zombies. It was weird. It was weird to finally get to really see. I mean, I know we saw downtown Atlanta in the first season a lot,
Right.
um, but to see it again,
Right.
it was nice because there was some. It was funny being able to recognize some of the streets and some of the areas that they were in. Like when they were getting ready to go to the parking lot, I knew exactly where they were. And they panned out and they showed the 200 block of Peachtree Street where the Macy's used to be.
Right.
That was kind of cool to see that. I mean, it's like I know exactly where they are. Like whenever we go out, we drive down that street, and to see it all dirty and all the trash on the ground and zombies shuffling around and it's all bombed out because they bombed Atlanta in the first season.
Right.
They hit it with napalm bombs to try to kill the dead. That was some really cool stuff that they did. They shot Atlanta and then they put all the post-apocalyptic bomb scars and all that stuff out there. It was cool. I like being able to recognize that.
Right. Because they were looking out the window, you just see him
Right,
decay and chaos from the
right.
first season.
And it's funny because I started watching the episode at work, and I logged into my computer. I remoted in from my computer at home, and I was watching the episode, and I was talking to my coworker, and I was like, man, for this to be the zombie apocalypse, this show is a whole lot of gas. This show is a lot of batteries.
Right.
Because Daryl got a flashlight, and he's just this flashlight,
Right.
and they driving, for hours or whatever to get back to Atlanta. Like, dang, how do these people always have gas? Why is there always a running car? This is the post-apocalypse.
Right.
And we all know they've already gone through. It's already been a couple years since the zombie outbreak. So, if not a year, at least a couple years. Why is there still gas? Why y'all still have cars that run? Like, what the hell?
That's a good question.
I'm 2 seconds from wondering why is the lawn still cut? Like, why isn't everybody's grass overrun? You know what I'm saying? Like, you notice how you see all these houses and the grass is still
Right, trim.
Like, who is mowing the yards in the post-apocalypse?
Maybe.
Sorry about that. I have no idea who's calling me right now.
Maybe it's an old gardener that loves his job so much.
It on every house in every neighborhood? I don't think so. They have never moved into my subdivision, and there was a house that wasn't taken care of on the other street, on the adjoining street, and the grass was so high. So no, I know how grass grow when you don't take care of it.
It was no weed in the bunch.
Perfectly manicured lawns.
Right.
But yeah, no. It was cool to see. It was cool to see Grady in the from the outside from the window when they looked out the window and saw Grady.
Right.
It was cool to see it that way. But overall, I enjoyed the episode.
Right.
I still don't get. I don't know, Carol. I know we talked about it before. I like Carol's transformation.
Right.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like whatever it is she's going through right now.
Right. So like remorse, and she see more not herself, trying to find herself. Look like.
Yeah, like what is? But at the same time, I do like her. I like how she went from being this timid woman to this strong, powerful woman. But it seems like now it's like now she wants to shoot everybody.
Right.
Like she shoots first and asks questions later. Like she was about to shoot Noah in the back.
Right.
And
then
gonna
lie. And then she gonna lie. Say, "I just gonna shoot him in the leg." No, you wasn't, bitch.
No, you wasn't. You was gonna put him.
You aim right for the head or the back. Okay.
You was gonna take him down. Now, granted, she's justified. He's stealing your weapons, and you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, in the heart of downtown Atlanta.
Right.
Basically, ground zero.
Right.
Where every zombie ever existed is still at. So I can understand why I'm not gonna let this dude walk away with our weapons.
Right.
So I understand that.
I guess Daryl, he understood because we're in apocalypse. He needed weapons and he took ours. He ain't kill us.
Right. Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he didn't kill him, but he did let those zombies out the tent. So,
right.
Did he not try to kill him? I would consider that as you trying to kill me by letting those zombies out.
Not really, because he just using the zombies as a getaway, so he won't follow him.
True, I understand that. But what if? I'm just saying these are all what ifs, obviously. But
right.
Maybe what if he'd have misjudged them and didn't realize that they're really not tough. Without the weapons, they're defenseless. And you just let these zombies out so that you can get away. You just killed 2 innocent people. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I still consider that you tried to kill us by letting those zombies out.
Right.
Yeah, of course, Daryl and Carol, of course, they're gonna kill the zombies. No big, not even flinch. But
if
somebody else.
The thing is, if all they had was a shoestring and some boots, they would kill some zombies with some shoestring and some boots. Okay. Yeah. They'll find a way.
Absolutely. Carol and Daryl are zombie killing machines. So
right.
I completely understand that.
But then the roles kind of switched because Daryl wanted to kill Noah. Well, not kill him, but leave him.
He wanted to be heartless and not be like, nope,
right.
Leave him.
Right.
He's getting what he deserves. And then Carol softened.
Right.
He softened up. I guess because if you really think about it, Daryl was giving her the flux. Daryl was kind of giving her the flux the whole entire episode.
Right.
About whatever. Like, she left, and at this point, I don't think Daryl knows that she didn't leave because she wanted to. She left because she was banished. She didn't. I don't think he knows that.
Right.
I don't think at this point he knows. But he's under the impression that she just left. And when he asked her, if I hadn't walked up on you at the car, what would you have done? Like, would you have left?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't know. I still don't know. Like, no, you know.
Yeah.
You was gassing up the car
To leave.
You were leaving.
You just didn't want to hurt his feelings, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. But you were going to leave.
I understand why she's leaving, because it seems like she's always getting in a position where she has to be the one that makes the decision to kill somebody she cares about.
Right.
She may not necessarily have cared about the people that she killed in the prison, the lady and the dude that got sick first. She may not necessarily have felt anything for them, but she knew what the disease meant.
Right.
She knew that the sickness was eventually going to go and spread.
Hey.
You know, and so she had to make that decision, like, let's kill these people who are sick first and see if it'll stop it.
Right. Like I said, when you're dealing with somebody, you know, when you be with a group of people for a long period of time, you get affection for them.
Yeah, you become attached.
But Carol, like I said, she thinks with her mind, not with her heart.
Right.
He said, okay, there's a zombie, they got bitten, they have to die. They're going to die anyway, kill them.
Exactly. And I'm the same way, too. Like, if I was in a zombie, I mean, I've seen enough of these shows. I've seen enough of these movies. I like zombie movies. You know, I've seen enough of these movies, like, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that if this was the zombie apocalypse and my sister got bit, I'm putting a bullet in her head right there and walking on. I'll mourn later. Because
okay,
we all know there's no cure. We all know it.
Right. Before we get back, lad, this is hypothetical. There ain't going to be no zombie apocalypse. So he just hypothetically saying.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah. Right. I'm just saying. If this was a zombie apocalypse and my sister got bit, I would put a bullet in her head.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm also one of those people that I don't deal with irrational fear. I mean, I know I get scared. I get scared out of my mind. But I'm not gonna lose it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, no, if I'm being chased by zombies, I'm finna run or I'm finna do whatever I need to survive. I'm not finna just stop and scream and holler. Like, no. I don't like characters that just show irrational fear for no reason. Like, you're losing it at the point where you know you're gonna get killed.
Right. That fight or flight response.
I don't like characters whose fight or flight response are really unrealistic. Like, you should be running, but right now you choose to stop and scream.
Right.
No. Get the hell out.
Right. Use your lungs for breathing and running.
Right.
Not screaming.
But
when you get far away from the zombies and to yourself, then you can scream all you want to. But for now, run like hell.
But yeah, but to get back on track.
Right.
The character of Noah, I liked him in the hospital episode. I liked him because one, it kind of destroyed my whole theory about adding black people to the series. Because so far no other black person has died for Noah to be introduced. Right. So, you know, shout out to Robert Kirkman. I love your show, but you did have a tendency to kill the previous black person before adding a new one. So didn't like that.
But the key thing I learned about Noah, that he done this before. He survived before. Because he been tracking them the whole time.
Well, you're talking about Noah in this episode. Remember he said he wasn't following them. He thought they were following him.
Right.
So,
but you gotta think though. Like it's no coincidence that he suddenly got there with Carol just getting out the door.
Mm-hmm.
There's no coincidence. He had to be following them.
Well, I think he was following them. I agree. I do believe that he was following them. But he, out of his own mouth, he was like, I wasn't following you. I thought y'all were following me. So it could very well be that they were heading in the same direction and ended up in the same spots at the same time.
Right, but that's
without any actual intention.
Right.
But
that still goes back to what I'm saying, that he know how to survive by himself.
Yeah. But like I was saying before about this guy, I like his character. I liked him in the hospital. He seemed real, like he cared.
Right.
He cared about Beth. But then in this episode, he's just a flat out asshole. Like he sticks up two random people, take their weapon, and leave them to die. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of it seemed like a reversal on his character. I thought.
Right.
I mean, I get it. You're trying to survive, and in the hospital you were safe, so you could. But it seemed like you went from this. You were willing to take a beating for this girl who you barely know, and then in the next episode you're an asshole who steals weapons from people.
Right.
Left the same girl to die.
But
then steal the weapons of random people. So
right. But there's a difference between getting a beating and dying. Okay. Okay. Because, like I said,
I'm talking more about his character, though.
Right.
But I get it. I get what you mean.
Because, like I said, in the hospital, he been there for a year, so he already know the rules and what's gonna happen and blah blah blah. So he already knew a beating was coming.
Right.
But like I said, in the zombie world, you don't know what the fuck coming.
Right. That's true.
So his only thought process at the time was, let me take their weapons. Now, mind you, I think, yeah, he was an asshole for taking both weapons. He could, I guess he didn't want to get killed, I guess. That could be the reason.
Yeah, I would assume he didn't want to have the backlash of being killed, but, it's weird because we all know had he asked for protection, Carol and Daryl would have totally taken him in.
Right.
After Daryl would have been a jerk. Daryl would have been a jerk. Carol would have been a little bit of a bitch, but eventually they would have took him on. They would have took him in.
Right.
They would have protected him if push come to shove. Especially if they just showed him that he was limping and hurt.
Right.
So, but
yeah, because that was that group dude. They always helping people.
Even Carol's like that's her conflict. That's basically her conflict because she's like when it was her and Daryl in that room, she was like, I don't think we get to save people anymore.
Right.
And she's conflicted about that. She feels like I think she feels like that's wrong. Like that should be the reason why they keep on to help people.
Right.
If they come across people, help them. But it's like now it's shit. So with everything that's happened, it seems like no matter what we come across, people are just going to be evil. So we might as well just not help them anymore. So
right.
And that's her conflict. She's like she doesn't think we can help people anymore. And it's like no, you absolutely can.
Right.
But
like it going back to what Rick says. Like I said, it's fine to relax and all that, but don't ever let your guard down.
Right.
Ever.
You're not safe. Ever.
Right.
You're not safe. I'm glad that the last week's preview of this week's episode, which was when Daryl was burning those bodies, and it was like everybody was like, "Oh, it's Beth," or "I hope that's not Beth," or whatever. I'm glad they explained that really early in the episode.
Right.
That it was just some random zombie kids that he killed.
Right.
So that Carol didn't have to, because he knows he had to kill the girls. Daryl told her that he knows what happened.
Right.
But or rather, he knows the gist of what happened in terms of the girls, like.
Right. The two blonde-headed girls. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think Daryl knows that one little girl killed the other.
Right.
I think he just knows that the two girls got killed.
Right. That was a heart-wrenching scene for me. I'm sorry to go off topic a little bit, but going back to them two girls, that was a good scene.
Oh yeah, no, it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Well, I tried to save her. No, bitch, you crazy. That was a crazy girl.
Right.
I can talk to zombies. I can hear what they're saying. Oh God.
Crazy. She's totes cray cray.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad we finally know, obviously, that it's Noah that's going to come out of the bushes with Daryl when he gets back to the group.
Apparently, Carol got ran over. She got destroyed by that car. I'm sorry.
She got knocked the fuck out. But you got to remember, she was already in that accident when they flipped over in that van.
Right.
On the bridge.
Right.
That seems kind of dumb to me. I don't understand. Like, you've got the zombies from the way the angles of the scene were.
Right.
It seemed like the zombies were coming from both sides. But why didn't you shoot straight back from where the, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you get if I'm on your left and I'm on your right, why don't you go forward?
Right.
They should have just ran forward, and then this, I don't know, maybe they were completely surrounded or whatnot, but
Right.
the way the scene was shot, it didn't seem like it seemed like they could have got away if they really wanted to.
Right.
But then they flipped over in that van, which was like
Epic.
it was good. It was good how the van flipped perfectly to land right back on its wheels.
Right. Cause I totally think they're gonna land right on the roof, like the roof,
Right.
roof down.
I knew they was gonna flip upside down. I don't understand why it seemed like there was a whole lot of zombies, but only 3 or 4 of them fell off the bridge.
Right. That's what I thought was weird too.
Like
Cause the way it sounded like more fell than what actually fell, and that makes sense.
I mean, it seemed, I only heard like 3 or 4 thumps, like thump, 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 and then it stops. Like, you should have been hearing a whole lot more.
Right.
Because there was a whole lot of zombies. All of them should have followed blindly off the edge of that cliff, because that's what zombies do. We know they just
Right.
they follow each other. They're not gonna stop and be like, oh, I'm not gonna fall, and then keep on going. They're gonna shuffle up because they know they're following the action. They're following the movement. They know that truck fell, and they think it's food.
Right.
They're gonna blindly follow it.
Right. This ain't World War Z zombies. Okay. These are.
You know, so.
But yeah, it was weird. But going back to when Carol got hit, it also showed how smart Noah is too. Cause Daryl wanted to go in, just blind.
Right, and that's where Noah redeemed himself. I think, for me.
Right.
It's like, let her go. They're taking her to the hospital. They have a doctor. They have supplies. They will help her.
Right.
Of course, you know, once they get her back on her feet, she's gonna have to go through all that bullshit where you owe us shit. But
Right.
at the end of the day, they'll help her. They'll heal her as best they can.
Right.
So yeah, Noah, in my eyes, redeemed himself then.
Right. And they're gonna be an all-out war.
So
they're gonna go back, get their people.
So yeah, it's cool. I like that.
Right.
I'm excited to see Rick take on that chick, like really put her in her place.
Right.
Like, bitch, I'm a cop too, you know.
Right. And I've been dealing with a lot more shit than you.
You've been in a nicey, cozy hospital telling people they owe you shit and beating them up because you think you have a god complex.
Right. Having little child molesters everywhere.
Letting people get raped. I'm excited to see how Rick is gonna confront her, because you know Rick is gonna get it.
Right. They ain't gonna chop her up like the cannibal dude. Just start wailing on her.
I hope so. She deserves every bit of it.
Right. Well, Michonne got a sword back, so there'll be a couple beheadings.
Put her in a room with Michonne. That'd be interesting.
They cut off one limb at a time. Then the exit is right for the hitch. But
overall, this episode was the pacing was kind of slow. I mean, of course, it was a character-driven episode. It was the relationship between Carol and
right. I just wish they did a little bit more with Carol's story while she was gone so long. That's like the only problem.
The flashbacks were only flashbacks to the main events that were happening. Like when she was banished, which is when they were still on the farm. Right. No.
Prison.
They went to prison.
Right, prison. Cause he gave her the car and some supplies and told her you gotta go.
Right. I'm trying to remember. Was that the same neighborhood that him and his what was his friend's name, Shane? Was that when they went to that neighborhood? Was that the same neighborhood Shane and Andrea had went to? Or was that a completely different neighborhood?
Completely different.
It had to be different.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, it seemed like they just went to the same neighborhood that Shane and Andrea went to. So I'm confused. Are they on the farm or are they on the prison? But I remember now they're in the prison because she got banished for burning up those bodies.
Right.
Those folks. So she got banished. So that was the main event. And then she comes back. Another main event. The prison's being attacked.
Right.
Or was attacked. Then another major event. They arrive at Terminus. You know, they're only highlighting where she was when the major events was happening.
Right.
You know, not exactly.
Like, it wasn't no development.
Yeah, It's like this is where Carol was when we were all doing this.
Right. She like it showed like she was perfectly placed.
Perfectly placed.
Right. Like she ain't going through anything. Like how what she do to survive. I want to see her survive doing something,
Right.
life changing something. But
Yeah, it really did no, exactly like you're saying. It didn't seem like she had any character development after she was banished.
right,
Like she was banished. She was banished for becoming a badass, and then it wasn't developed. Her badassness wasn't developed.
right,
She was, like you said, strategically placed exactly where she needed to be for all these things to work out.
right. So
But other than that, that's my gripe about that episode. But of course, if they dedicate too much more time to fleshing out her flashbacks, there wouldn't really be too much more time to really
right,
tell the story that they needed to tell.
right, because only two episodes left for the
The
uh
mid-season finale
mid season. Then it coming back next year on 2015. Can't
in
believe.
February,
Right.
so that's gonna be awesome. Overall, I give this episode. Are we ready? Oh, I'm sorry. Are we ready to rate?
Yeah, I am.
I will give this episode a 4.5. A 4.5.
Right. I give it like a 3.8. Cause that
Why
was
do you give it a 3.8?
it's just the Carol storyline. It just slow pacing. The Carol storyline didn't really make any sense. I mean, it picked up at the end. That's why I kind of gave it a 3.8. But it wasn't one of their best episodes, I think.
I think it was one of the better story-driven episodes to keep the story going.
Right.
To progress the story along. I give it 4.5 because, like you said, I think there wasn't enough Carol development in the flashbacks. Like you said, they were just she strategically placed in the exact same spot she needed to be for everything else to work out. But aside from her being at the right place at the right time, there was no logical reason why she was there.
Right.
I didn't like how Noah went. I didn't like the reversal of Noah's character.
Right.
From being this obviously good guy who cared to being this heartless dude that's gonna set people up to die so that he could have weapons.
Right.
And at the end of the day, at the end, he's like, okay, they saved my life. Let me, be the good guy again. Like his character's wishy-washy.
So you think he's more calculating?
He's definitely smart.
Right.
He's definitely smart.
I think he's calculating at the time.
I will say so. I just think it's
right. Because like you say, like, okay, now they saved me. Now I have to,
I'm not liking that he's like, I don't know. He's wishy-washy. I don't like. He's two-faced. So, like, he's just as easily will backstab you than he was to do something for you.
Well,
so.
Yeah, like I said, a little calculating. He calculating what's going on at the time. So whatever benefits me at the time,
right,
I'm gonna do.
Exactly. And now that I think about it, they did kill off a black person to bring in a new black person. They killed off Bob. I just remembered. They killed Bob to bring in Noah. So, damn you, Kirkman. You got me again.
Everybody hates Chris. Come on now. Get together.
But James Tyler, what's his name? James Tyler something. What's his name?
Yeah, James. James. Let me see.
James Tyler Williams.
Right.
Have you noticed that he plays the same? I mean, everything that he's been in, with the exception of Dear White People, which Noah was the gay kid on Dear White People. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a good movie.
Right.
Shameless plug for a movie I have no financial gain in. Other than the fact that it's a good movie that I enjoyed.
It may give us advertisement. You never know.
But he was in that movie, and he kind of, in everything he does, he kind of plays the same guy. He doesn't seem like he has a whole lot of range. He seems to. He's endearing. I like him a lot. I like him. I liked him when he was in Everybody Hates Chris. But I'm seeing his acting style is one-dimensional. He's always the same character.
Wow. Like I say, he kind of like stepped up in the Walking. When he came into the Walking Dead, I think he stepped up. So hopefully his storyline get a lot better.
I hope he sticks around for a while. Because I like him as a person.
Right.
So I hope I agree. I hope Noah sticks around for a while, and
Right.
his character gets developed. Because I don't think there is a Noah in the comic book. I don't remember.
Right. But I just hope he be beneficial to the team.
Agreed.
So.
What else did I? What else did I give it 4.5? No, that was pretty much it.
Right.
I mean, I don't know what's going on with Carol and Daryl in terms of their relationship to each other. Obviously, Carol has some shit that she wants to say, and Daryl is like,
oh yeah, she's holding back a lot.
And Daryl just like, he's giving her the flux for a reason. I don't know what his feelings are.
Right.
Does he want to be with her? Does he love her? Does he just think of her as a good friend and ally and doesn't want to see her hurt or gone?
Right. I don't know.
What is the relationship?
I guess he don't want to do too much because she just came back into the group, so I guess he ain't trying to push too much. So she'll go away again. I guess I don't know, but that's my opinion on it.
But he was really distant to her when she was the main character, when she was the main part of the group. Like, she was trying to get with him, and he was kind of distant. Like, she would go out of her way to do stuff for him.
Right.
Because she kind of fell for him when he was going through all of that trying to find Sophia. So she had feelings. She has feelings for him. That's obvious.
Right.
But he's kind of vague on what feelings he may or may not have.
Right. Oh, he probably don't know his feelings at all.
Right. He might not know his feelings. So.
Yeah. But I can't wait for the next episode. It's going to be epic.
I hope it. I hope there wasn't the preview. Is there a preview? I didn't see a preview because of course I don't have AMC.
I gotta go back and read.
I have to go see whatever the next week's preview is, but I don't think there's anything that's going to happen in next week's episode from the preview that makes me think it's going to be epic. It just seems like it could be a whole episode of them getting it could be a whole episode of them getting to the hospital
or planning.
Planning getting to the hospital. Nothing actually happens.
Right.
And like you said, there's only 2 more episodes left.
Right. So they probably
they
probably get to the front door.
In the last episode.
Right. Probably get to the front door of the hospital and gotta wait till February.
So that'd be cool.
Right. I just wonder how they're gonna take over the hospital because they're armed and dangerous. I give them that.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out who the people in the hospital are supposed to be.
Right.
They don't. I mean, they could be just random adversaries to fill in, to fill in until they get to the big bad or the remainder of the season.
Right, but it did show us something though.
What did it show us?
That they're actually hitting people. They're not saving people as they think they are. Cause they did blindside Carol, so I think they did the same thing to Beth.
Oh, you mean hit her with the car?
Right. Trying to save people so they get in debt.
Which would, well, yeah, that right there tells me that's probably what they are doing. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what's going on. They'll find survivor, hit them or injure them in some way, form, or fashion, take them back to the hospital, heal them, and then say that you owe us.
Right. Oh, we just found you that way. Cause like I said, that car came out of nowhere. I mean nowhere. So yeah, they're injuring people so they get back to the hospital and pretend like they're heroes. Oh, we're saving you. This is a safe place. No. I guess that's why she was so upset when that dude died in the hospital.
What do you mean? The lady cop was upset that the molester died?
No, oh no. That one of the people they brought in.
Oh, the doctor.
Right. Cause you remember she smacked the shit out of Beth, which I guess that's her favorite.
Well, because she had the dude's credentials. She knew that she knew that he was a more, how do I say this? He had better medical credentials than the guy they already had.
Right.
Like, I think the guy they have is a general practitioner or something like that, or even I don't even think he's that big of a doctor.
Right.
But this one was an oncologist. He deals with cancer, which means he has to have a more in-depth
Right. He had the scientific knowledge of
He has
everything.
to have more in-depth knowledge of medical practices than the doctor that, and that's why he killed him. It's like he basically said that this doctor is better than I am.
Right.
So if they keep this doctor around, they don't need me, which is stupid. Having more than one doctor is way better than having one doctor.
Right. But
You
yet
know,
again, what
you're
like he's
and,
still trying to protect himself. Cause you remember that
And I get and
daughter.
I get that, but I totally understand that. I totally understand that. If I keep myself the most valuable commodity, then there's no chance that anything will happen to me.
Right.
But that's when you're thinking about you. But if
Right.
you're actually trying to save people, having two doctors is great.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, I kind of get what the doctor's coming from. Cause somebody threatened me to my, oh, once we get a new one, we're gonna get rid of you.
And that's really dumb on the cop's part. That's how you know the cop is they're not the rapist cop wasn't thinking rationally because one, he's raping people,
Right.
but to actually think that, oh, if we got a different doctor, someday you're not going to be the only doctor, or someday we're going to have a different doctor and it won't be you. You a dumbass. You really don't want the world to change.
No, they don't. It's that he just there to do what he do, be sinful and rape all them girls. He ain't thinking about nobody else but like I said, like he said, if that lady wasn't there to keep him in line, it'd be pandemonium in that hospital.
Yeah, I'm glad. I was really glad when they killed him. Just very, very, very much so.
Right.
Um, I
But
hope
yeah.
that lady cop gets killed
Oh yeah, she is.
badly.
Well, she is. Ain't no way.
I hope.
Ain't no way. Especially when Rick's there.
I hope she gets killed really, really badly. I hope the doctor gets killed really, really badly. I hope all of them die.
Yeah,
And
they probably are.
that's a horrible thing to do. But if for me, the best thing would be to take the doctor with them.
Right.
Uh, Ultimately, the greatest thing they could do is stay in the hospital.
Yeah, that would
The
be the great
hospital is
thing.
pretty fortified. It's
But
they've got
knowing
it together.
but knowing what we knowing, something gonna happen, either the hospital gonna blow up or whatever, that they can't stay.
Right.
Plus they don't know that the cure ain't real for the zombies or whatever. So I guess
And,
they
and
still
you know what kills me though is now, and I understand hospitals have emergency generators, but how long have they been at Grady
right.
that they still have electricity and running water at Grady in
Right.
the post-apocalypse after the zombie outbreak has happened
So
after a couple years?
so basically it's just I ain't gonna say it's another terminus, but it's another place of mystery that we don't know nothing about.
Like, how the hell how do they still have power and water
Right. And food.
and food? Well, no, they're eating hamsters and shit, so they
I
don't.
mean, but they
They
ain't
have
enough
food,
hamsters.
but
They
they
ain't
have
enough.
food, but it's not like they have real food. They have survival food.
Right. But I mean, it's enough to keep your belly full. I mean, that's still suspicious to me.
Ugh,
Cause hamsters gonna run out soon. I'm sure.
yeah, I mean,
So yeah.
it's
Unless
a
unless they're gonna go all terminus on us and start cooking people or dead bodies and shit. But anyway,
right. It's got to smell god awful in there because they got that bottom floor full of dead bodies that are rotting and decomposing.
right. Well, I guess you in the zombie apocalypse, you smell that funk all the time. I mean,
That's true.
you kind of get you. Like I said, you walk into a room, like you walk out of the room, and we walk back in, like, oh my God, it stinks in here. How could I stayed in here so long? But
Yeah,
you've been in here so long, you're so used to it.
yeah, you do. You're right.
So, but yeah, this was a decent episode. I ain't gonna say a great episode. So we'll be back next time for episode 7 of The Walking Dead, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
All right.